Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my humble home in Livingston, Montana. Let me get a drink of coffee and get the frog out of my throat. Excuse me. Okay, I thought just for the heck of it, because probably don't mean much, but it'll make me feel better anyway, that I send out a Thanksgiving message to my subscribers and anybody that listens to this or looks at this video or whatever have you. And quite obviously it's Thanksgiving Day 11/26 of 2020, a Thursday. Okay, now as I sit here at 68 years old, I positively, beyond any shadow of doubt, have a lot to be thankful for. Really, seriously, and I've got a lot to be thankful for, but with a weird twist. Let's get the weird twist thing out of my hair so I can make some sense. Okay, one thing on today's date on Thanksgiving that I can be thankful for is that I'm just going to call this growing up. I just jotted a few notes before I started up this file. As a kid growing up here in Montana, okay, this is the truth, folks. It's like growing up on another planet. It was like growing up on Mars. I'm not kidding. We were very isolated from the rest of America, and there was a lot of crap that was going on in America way back through the 40s, 50s, 60s, and like that I had no knowledge of. And I'm really glad and thankful for that. Like politics. Okay, when I was in high school, my last class of the day, which was mandatory that I got through American government or I wasn't going to get out of high school, it was the last class of the day. It was the most boring class I was ever in my entire life. And I used to practice sleeping with my eyes open. I can't even do it now, but I would just go into a trance, because the old teacher we had, I got his name right here on my head, but I don't want to say, this guy had just droned on and on and on until I just wanted to shoot myself in the head. Well, anyway, I knew nothing about politics and all that I was supposed to. And like racial problems, didn't know a thing. Didn't know up from down, black from white, Asian from whatever. You know what I mean? We just did not have racial problems here in the state of Montana, and for the most part, we still don't. And if that mess gets started up here, it better not get started in my neighborhood, let me tell you that. I'm just going to leave it at that, And, half the stuff that's going on when it comes to this racial stuff, I consider nonsense anyway. Which it is. And like trendy clothes and stuff like that, I had no idea what trendy clothes were. Or fancy clothes or designer clothes. Man, it was just Carhartts and Levi's, especially Levi's and all that other kind of stuff. Just clothes that were built for work and warm and all that. And I was thankful to have that. Because you try to keep up with trendy clothes in the state of Montana, and you're going to freeze your little arse-scoff. I'd be glad, too. Another thing growing up in the state of Montana that I'm thankful that I didn't know nothing about, and that was pollution. Almost all the waterways up here in the state of Montana, you could drink out of without, getting sick. I'm going to tell you the deal with water. In a body of water, you've got to have fresh water feeding the body of water, and then you've got to have a waterway going out. And when you've got that, generally speaking, you can drink that water, generally speaking. But if you've got water that's just stagnant and not moving around, there's where you get bacteria and botulism and beaver fever and all this other stuff, you know. Another thing growing up in the state of Montana that I'm thankful for is I didn't have to put up with big city rudeness. I'm going to repeat that, big city rudeness. And I still don't put up with it to this day. Trust me on that. And nobody's going to tell me, because the first couple of trips I ever made into New York City, first of all, I could barely understand them people because they talk so doggone fast. And then I used to watch guys stand on a street corner saying they were going to kill each other and cut their mom's hearts out and do all kinds of stuff. And they'd carry on for 10 minutes and not throw a punch. Now what's up with this nonsense? Another thing when I was a kid growing up that I could be thankful for that I didn't have, and that's the internet. I could live real well without the internet, and I still could to this day. You could take that any which way you want. Another thing, well, that's just a few things I wrote down. There was just a whole, the bottom line is there's just, once I got out of high school and went into the United States Army, it's like I went on to another planet. And that ain't no kidding, you know. One thing that I am not thankful for, but I am thankful that I made it through the mess, but I'm not thankful for it at all, and that's being a Vietnam veteran. I never have jumped up and down for joy or any of that because of that mess called Vietnam. That was, I hope you people out there realize that on today's date, which is Thanksgiving of 2020, the 26th of November, that the United States government, meaning you taxpayers, are still paying for that Vietnam War. And this last mess that they had with the terrorists, you're going to be paying for that for another 50 years. Hope you like all this, because it's the truth. You know, and another thing I can honestly say in this present day and age, I'm glad I've got a good, faithful wife. I've been married for 45 years. She's put up with a lot of crap for me, you know. I try to be a little bit more humorous in my old age than when I was back working real hard and raising my family and everything. I'm well known for giving her a bunch of crap and just kidding, you know. I mean, not abuse. Got to make sure I'm real careful here for people that don't understand the English language, you know. And I'm thankful for the fact that I got good kids. As a matter of fact, I just got informed yesterday I'm going to be a great-great-grandpa. Great-grandpa? See, when one of my grandkids, what is it? When one of my grandkids is going to have a kid, well, that's where I am. Good genes, you know what I mean? Sure you do. All right, and I'm thankful for the fact that I got a home, because this is really close to my heart. It's something I feel really bad about, you know, about the amount of people. And I'm not just saying this stuff either. I mean it. You know, most of the time when I say something, I mean what I'm saying, unless I'm misunderstood or I don't quite know what I'm talking about or whatever have you. But I feel very, very fortunate for the fact that I got a home, because I know that there's people that got living conditions that they can't even call a piece of sidewalk their own home. In America, this is sad. This is sad. You know, I figure we've got, I don't even know how many millions of people that can't even call a piece of sidewalk their home, but I know it's it's got to be in the hundreds of thousands, which is hundreds of thousands way too much, you know. So, and that's really all I wrote down here, you know. So I'm just kind of goofing off to my family. Well, and that's another thing too. You people, you clowns that have been on TV saying that we got a social distancing because of Thanksgiving and all that, you can go to hell. I have my entire, well, not my entire family, but I've got quite a few of my family members coming over here in a few hours. And that's another thing, too. If that miserable Joe Biden and that other person, that woman, that Kamala Harris, if somehow or the other they do become president and vice president of the United States, I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to tell you fools just what the deal is. You start coming up with a bunch of rules and regulations. You start telling me I got to stay in my home. You can go to hell. You send your boys after my firearms. Best not do that. Best not do that. We'll have another battle of the bighorn up here. You better understand this. Not getting my firearms, you communist sons of bitches. That's what I got to say. And that's what I'm not thankful for. This next 4 years is not looking good. It's not looking good at all. But I'm not really sitting here to ruin your Thanksgiving. I'm just telling you what I am thankful for, and I missed a bunch of stuff. And I also have to say that I'm thankful that I'm still relatively healthy at 68 years old. I know there's a lot of people. I've actually had friends of mine and different people I've known that were about my age and younger that are pushing up night crawlers. So hey, But before I quit, one thing I want to say is I want to wish you and yours a happy Thanksgiving. And my advice is to concentrate on the things that you can be happy for and not or thankful for, and not concentrate on the things that you're not thankful for, because the reason being is it'll wreck this holiday. It'll be a moot point to have a Thanksgiving, so, I'm also thankful I've got plenty to eat and, this kind of stuff, so, but all this stuff I earned, and so that's all there is to it, and this, the way it is in this society, well, it seems like the more you apply yourself, the harder you end up working. And it's like, with some people, I know it seems like they're not getting anywhere, But, what can I say? It's what it is what it is. Okay, that's enough of this stuff. How many minutes do I got in here? 12 minutes. Good. That's real good. I got to get going. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for visiting me in my home here in Livingston, Montana. We shall see you on down the trail. Happy Thanksgiving and adios, my friends.